Good morning, everybody.
Good morning. Sorry,
Happy
trying to type.
trying to type at the same time. I know it's hard.
It is hard. That's why you can't do it.
That's like I just can't do it because I can't see.
Oh, that helps too.
Well, welcome everybody to Straight Up Paranormal.
Welcome.
A little different show today.
What happens when you're traveling all week?
Right. Yes, we've been kind of busy, so we don't have any guests for today. So it's kind of be a show about you and I as partners, I guess.
Sure, I guess we were sort of investigating.
We are to a certain degree.
Taking advantage of our opportunity. Come on now.
Okay, the numbers are weird because I know we got more people on than that, so kind of weird.
Unless everybody just left us. They didn't want to talk to us anymore.
Yeah, possibly.
Happens.
So how's everybody doing on this glorious Sunday, this hot and humid Sunday here in Arizona?
It's gross.
It sucks.
It's just gross. Our whole wash, I guess is what it's considered. Our whole wash behind us is a lake, and it's just gross. You walk outside and the air's thick and ugh.
Yeah, it's disgusting. Really disgusting.
And we do want to send our love to Joey and his family. Been thinking about you guys a lot.
Yes, our condolences go out.
Yes.
Very, very sad. Actually made for a depressing weekend.
It kind of like we kind of knew it was coming. Yeah.
I know. Never easy. Never
No.
ezy. But
we love you guys. We're here if you need us.
Anything you need, let us know for sure. Absolutely. So yeah, so we took a little, I want to say unexpected trip out of town. I had to go out of town for work, and we decided to make some fun of it.
Say we took advantage of the fact that you had to go out of town for work.
So we thought we'd share some stuff with you guys today. Sorry, I was having issues.
Are you okay?
My cord was getting all tangled up.
You're being attacked by something? What is happening?
It's one of those. It's one of those days. Really, don't start that.
Sorry.
So we went to San Francisco for 3 days. 4 days. 4 days. Yeah, 4 days.
And then we went to Alameda.
Right.
They had the pinball museum or Hall of Fame or whatever they called it.
I was going to put up pictures of that, but I ran out of time.
It was the best thing in the world.
So.
Oh my God. I can post them on our things. It was the best.
It was really cool. That was neat. They showed all the old, well, they kind of went, it was kind of cool because they went from the early pinball machines.
Like where it started. Yeah.
And they had the dates as to when they were created, who created them. Mm-hmm. And then they just went down the line all the way to current. And
yeah,
it was like, what, $20 a person? You could play there all day long. Yeah. So,
15 for healthcare workers. Got a discount.
You got a discount. So that was a lot of fun.
So much fun. And they just let you play. They didn't even care. You could be there. You could go in and out all day.
Yeah.
Give you a little wristband. So you could, leave and come back. And it's the best.
That was a lot of fun. You were in your glory.
I was loving it so much. Yeah.
Yeah, that was cool. I'm glad we had the opportunity to do
I'll post pictures later.
I would definitely go back and do that again.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I'm not a big pinball fan. I never was as a kid, but that was
unlike me.
I gotta say, it was a lot of fun. It was really neat.
I know. I felt kind of bad. I felt like a bad girlfriend. I made you go do something you didn't really want to do.
No, I was actually glad we did it because I enjoyed seeing all the old machines and how they worked.
Yeah, you like that more. I just like playing pinball.
I like more of the history.
That's okay. So. It kept you busy. Yes. It made me not feel as bad.
Really?
Yeah. Because if you'd have stood there and been miserable, I'd have felt a little bit worse.
So did it make you feel better saying I want to go back?
Yes, because then you'll go back and I won't feel bad about dragging you back next time.
I want to go back for a whole slew of reasons. I mean, it was just really neat. It
was a cool little town.
I'd never been there. I'd never been there before. And, I remember being an old Trekkie, old Star Trek fan. I remember the one episode that they had the aircraft carrier they went on. They talked about Alameda, and I was like, oh, where's Alameda? And then once I found it while we were there, I was like, oh shit, we gotta go check that out.
Yeah.
So lo and behold, it was found out it was the home. Well, it's now the home of the USS Hornet.
Big fucking boat. Big boat.
So I was really excited. And Papa Joey, correct me if I'm wrong on this, but was this the one that Alicia did the investigation on? We're supposed to have her on for our Parapalooza.
I feel like she was supposed to be at the Hornet, but I could be wrong.
I could be wrong too, because for some reason I was thinking it was back east she was, but then I think she lives up
I
Northern
don't know.
California. So,
We're trying to figure that out.
if
while
it
we were there.
was, that'd be really cool because that was just
It was a
just
cool boat.
a really cool boat. So we got some pictures we'll share with you guys here. So this one I put up of Lindsay standing in front of it just to get the
Big
sheer
boat.
size of it. It was just huge. It was like a
Big boat.
floating city.
That
Really?
picture was not intended for everybody else to see, by the way. That was a picture we were supposed to send to one of our friends, John, and the caption was, "You were on a boat like this?" It was not meant to be a cute picture because it is not.
Well, like I said, it was a good comparison to size.
Yeah.
I mean, standing in front of it. And I don't think at first, I don't think you were really, when I told you we were going to go see the ship, I don't think you were really
Interested? Not
interested
at all.
in it. So it
Not
wasn't
gonna lie.
until we actually started pulling through the driveway.
Yeah.
And
And I
the
saw
ship.
this. It's a city. Like it. Do you have the pictures of the planes? Where are the pictures of the planes?
I do. I have. I'm gonna pull that up. Let's see. Got a couple comments here.
She's back east. I don't think it was the Hornet. Okay, we couldn't.
Okay. Yeah.
I couldn't remember where she was.
It would have been cool if it was.
Yeah.
But.
That'd have been super cool.
So this is.
Where's the one with the inside?
Okay. So here's they have the flight deck, which is the top deck, and then they have
which is where the planes land.
Right.
And you think, okay, the planes land. Like you don't realize. Pull the planes up.
Okay. So this is the hangar deck, I guess you would say.
So that is a helicopter. Like that's a helicopter. People sit in that thing, and that is in the boat. In the boat.
This is on this level. They're
Yeah,
all parked on this level.
Like the plane is in the boat.
And I didn't put pictures up of all the planes that they had. They
No, there was a
probably
ton.
had what, 50?
Oh, easily.
parked on that
Easily.
deck?
And that was with space in between for you to look at them.
Oh,
like
they had a gift shop. They had all
Yeah.
kinds of things set up.
they had all the little like toury things and
Yeah.
But do you have the big one with the big gray jet that we looked in the engines?
No, that one I didn't put up.
So it was a jet, like a
Fighter jet.
fighter jet.
And they had 3 or 4 of those on the deck.
Yeah. And I could literally crawl inside the engine case. It was that big. Like I can
No wonder why people get sucked into those things.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was
Oh
huge.
yeah. On the front side, it's like, don't stand near here. And I'm like, oh yeah, I could easily fit 3 bodies stacked up in there.
And I'm sure for some people out there, this is no big deal because they probably were either in the military or dealt with this kind of stuff. Or
They don't
for people who haven't seen this stuff before, it's freaking incredible.
Ridiculous.
It's just absolutely incredible.
It's a plane in a boat.
100 planes in a boat. I mean, you think about it.
Yeah.
And then we went up.
But that's not even like the top story. Like you're like 3 stories in and the plane is in the boat.
Right. Right. So what they have is this big, it was pretty cool. I didn't
It was
get a
crazy.
picture of it, but basically there was you guys have all seen Top Gun and all those movies that show it, but they have the basically elevator from the hangar deck that lifts the planes up to the flight deck.
Oh yeah.
And we got to see that, all the pulleys and everything on it. That was pretty crazy.
Did you get a picture of that?
No. That's why I said I didn't have a chance to
put all our
upload
pictures
that,
up.
right.
We're gonna have to post a bunch of pictures.
We'll post on our page.
Yeah.
But this is the flight deck. I mean, you're on top of the ship right now. I mean, it looks like a city block. It's just
And that's just
insane.
one side.
Right,
Like that's not
one
even
side.
that's a third of one side.
Right. So we were standing right by where the control tower was, I guess, on the boat.
Where it starts to come up.
So then we spun around and got a picture of the other half. So here's the other half.
Yeah. And that you can't even see the other end of it.
No.
Like it's insane. And there was 2 runways on that.
Yeah. Yep.
There was one runway on the side. You see how it kind of niches out on the side right there. There was one runway there for landing, and then there was the other runway. It's
And the elevator that brought the planes up, I think
Is
this was it right
yep,
here.
is that square right
Yeah,
there.
that kind of, nobody can see what I'm pointing to, but
okay. So there's the yellow little square, and then there's the square that's like in
Behind it.
front of or behind the plane.
Yeah.
That's kind of where it is.
That's
But it
what
goes
they-
all the way down.
Yep.
It's and the wings fold up like that to fit through the thing.
all the planes did. Yeah.
Like it's just, it's absolutely nuts.
So the USS Hornet was launched December 14th of 1940.
Okay.
And then it was laid down September 25th, sorry. That's not what I was looking for.
That's not helpful.
It was commissioned in October 20th, 1941.
Okay.
And then I was trying to see when it was retired, but it doesn't give me that information on there. What's interesting, and I don't know. Unfortunately, we didn't take any tour with anybody, so we didn't get a lot of history on it.
No, we just kind of wandered around.
which was unfortunate. But it says it sunk in the Battle of Santa Cruz Islands on October 27th, 1942. So did it sink and they brought it back up again?
So I don't think it sank because I remember hearing that. That's why you remember you saw that big thing that was where it had like all the plane and had how many were shot down or whatever.
Mhm.
And it says injuries, and it had 4 major injuries. And I don't think it was sunk underground. I think it was just like it lost 1 floor kind of a thing. Like there was an injury to the bottom of it.
So it didn't fully
Don't
sink.
quote me on that, but I remember knowing that there was injuries, not like fully sank. I don't know. When I think sink, like I think like
all the way down, like
Yeah.
the Titanic.
Yep. Like bye.
Yeah, well, it could have been in shallow water when it got hit too. Who
Yeah,
knows? I mean, it could
exactly.
just-
And it didn't sink all the way.
Yeah. So,
So
and then another cool piece of history on this was that it was involved in the recovery of the Apollo 11 when it dropped back down into the ocean.
yeah, it was cool. It had the
So-
like recovery quarantine shell, I guess
Mhm.
they would call it, where
For
they
NASA.
came out of there and then went to this recovery shell, which was like a living room is essentially what it looked like. It had 5 or 6 chairs and a table, and they kind of hung out in there until they were deemed non-contagious from, maybe that's
Whatever they
where the
brought
Rona
back.
came from.
Now you're just speculating.
That was pre-Rona. I don't know, but it was cool.
Speaking of Rona and medical, these were the medical facilities. Some of the rooms that we came
Oh
across.
yeah,
I did kind
The
of
middle
a
one-
collage of them.
the middle one is the surgery room. It's so cool. And then they had like the lab, sterile processing. It was so cool.
They
It
had
was
a
so neat.
decompression chamber too, which I didn't put on here, but that was kind of
Yeah.
neat. Must have been for the divers when they came
Yeah.
back up. But you just don't. It's hard to get a feel for it unless you actually walk around the damn ship as to how big it is. I mean, I kept thinking it'd be easy when your first couple of times out to get lost, in that place because everything just kind of intertwined.
Oh
and
yeah.
hallways and stuff. So this was kind of cool. I did a little video of the bunks where they would sleep.
Mm-hmm.
and how-
And this was only one of them because there was the ones. Anybody who's seen World War Z, when the guy gets on the boat and he tucks his wife and 2 kids in that like little square bunker with 2 beds and 2 beds, those were there too. So
Right.
that's not even the like those quarters, which I would assume is for officers and stuff, like higher people because they had drawers and such. Then they had these where it's just beds on top of beds.
So here's a little short video I took. I'll let you guys watch this for a second. I know it's going to cut our mic off, but here's this. That was really cool. There's this.
And there was rooms and rooms, and there was like 12 rooms of those,
Right.
where it's just beds and beds. I can't even.
You got to
imagine.
think they're out. When they're out to sea, they're out to sea for a long time.
Oh, there you go. Thanks, Dad.
So decommissioned on January 17th.
I'm assuming that's 1947
1947.
and not 1047. There we go. Correction.
There you go.
Thanks, Dad.
I was like, damn, that's an old
I was
ship.
like, that's an old boat. He looks really good.
Yeah. So
Oh.
yeah, it was just an incredible experience, man. It's just to see something that big was just. I'll put up this picture again because it's just
was
incredible.
a city. Like it. Yeah, it was crazy. It had a chapel. It had a library. It had. I mean, yeah.
I mean, just look at the gangway going up to where we walked onto the boat. Look at all the different levels that are there. It's just tremendous. I mean, you see it in the movies. You're always like, oh, it's a big ship, but
It's a big.
you're on that thing, and that's not even one of the larger ones.
And we only went down. What was it, to the first level down?
Mhm.
So that main level there, where you walk up, you see the stairs on the left hand side. I hope it's your left hand side. On the one hand side. Now that main deck right there that you walked into, that was where they kept all the planes.
That was the hangar deck. Yeah.
Hangar deck. There you go.
Yep.
We only went down 1 level from there. I can't even imagine how many levels are under that water. I mean, who knows?
Yeah, we're gonna actually contact them.
They say they do paranormal
Right.
investigations.
So we're gonna contact them about maybe getting a whole bunch of us to go do it.
Yep.
So
And maybe a couple, yep, a whole night or a couple nights. Because there was some stairs we looked down that had a little,
a little creep factor.
had some
to 'em.
feelings going on down there.
Yeah.
But it was,
And
what's that say? It was activated again during the Korean War in 1950 to 1953.
oh, okay.
Oh,
Yeah, like I said, we were so in awe with the ship. We didn't. I mean, there were ex-military, there were veterans there
Oh, yeah.
on board that we could have gone and talked to. We were just like I said, it was just so much to see.
for the first time.
And
Yeah.
we got there a little bit late, so they were getting ready to close. I
Mhm.
think
We
when
only
we
had
got
like
there.
like 2 hours,
We had
I
like
think.
2 hours, yeah. But it was just a neat experience. And I got to say, when you went down below, you did get some creepy vibes.
Oh, it was
like,
creepy.
and I
There
don't know if it
was-
was because you think of the men and women that were there,
Especially
you
by
know,
the
and-
surgery rooms. Like that's where I got the most by the OR rooms and everything. Like that's where you get the most creep factor.
yeah.
You didn't really get it up by the rooms where they slept. So
And it could have just been our minds,
who
know,
knows?
playing with us. I mean, obviously we didn't go there for any type of paranormal
No,
reasons.
that was not our intent.
It was
Just
just-
to
we wanted to
stand
just
there and
go
be
see
like,
it.
oh my God.
So but there's got to be something there.
Oh,
would
well, they
think.
had, I mean, not even that, the bodies they picked up from people being injured. I
Right.
mean, I'm sure there's stuff there.
And like I said, the battles that it's been in, just to see the kind of action that boat's seen,
Yep.
it's pretty cool.
It was crazy.
It's pretty crazy. So yeah, that was a lot of fun. That was a neat experience. Like I said, just being on top of that thing, it just looked like a city block. I mean, it was just crazy how long
yeah.
it was, and think spending months out at sea on that thing.
You wouldn't even notice it. I
No.
hate to say it. It's so big. I don't know if you would even get like claustrophobic or star crazy because it's huge.
Yeah. And they had, they had pictures there of when the guys used to play basketball up
Mhm.
on the top deck and stuff like that. And so they kept themselves entertained, I'm sure.
Yeah.
So that was really cool.
Yeah, they definitely had a bunch of stuff but it showed basketball, it showed volleyball they would do down in the hangar deck. It was pretty cool.
Yeah.
Showed some of the old coffee cans.
That was
It was
cool.
neat.
Then they had like the old, that was in Alcatraz was the old cigarettes and stuff.
Oh,
they
yeah,
showed
yeah,
there Too, so
Yeah.
So
That was cool.
that was cool. So we'll get to that next. So on Tuesday night,
Yes.
Lindsay bought tickets to go over to Alcatraz,
It's fun.
which was totally unexpected. I wasn't, because I figured they were months out booked.
Yeah.
We wouldn't be able to get in there, but
Very last time nobody wanted to be there, 6:00, I guess.
I guess not.
Because everything else was sold out except for the 6:00 one.
Yeah, but there were a lot of people on the tour.
There's a ton of people on the
Yeah.
tour.
There's a lot of people. So we got to go over, took the boat over to Alcatraz and talk about another neat historical experience.
So cool.
That place was pretty freaking cool.
You don't just have a picture of it?
No,
Really?
I don't. Sorry. What?
Sorry, guys.
We were late preparing for this show. So
Yeah, I know.
I got plenty of stuff in here though.
Okay.
Little things that we
So
did.
you take the boat from the dock and it drives you out there and it's what?
15 minutes.
Yeah,
About 15
10, 15 minutes on the boat. Beautiful drive. You get to see the big, huge bridge. You get to see all the water in the bay, and then you see this island. And you're like, that can't really be it. Oh, it's huge.
Yeah.
It's 14 miles, 14 acres.
I think it's 14 acres.
It's on my magnet downstairs. It's 14 acres and 12 miles long or something. It's something ridiculous like that. I have a picture. I have a magnet of it. I'll take a picture and put it up for you guys. But I can tell you right now, hiking up from the bottom to the top where the cell is, I believe it was 14 acres because that thing, I was exhausted.
Well, it was walking up the mountain to the actual jail. They said it was like the equivalent of climbing a 50-story building.
Yeah.
And we felt it.
I believe
It
that.
was steep. It was a
steep.
tough hike. We had to stop twice on the way
Yeah,
up.
I thought I
because
was
it
going to die.
just- it
I'm
was
like,
just
this is crazy. Plus, you're looking at everything. So.
Yeah. You're trying to get it all in because you get this notion when they're like, all right, we drop you off at 6:20, I think it was. We
Yeah,
got
by
there.
the time we got there,
They're like,
6:20.
the last ferry of the day leaves at 8:40.
Y'all better be like, that's it.
So you're thinking, oh shit, we got to explore this whole island in that amount of time, which actually it ended up being
was enough
very
time.
doable.
Yeah.
It was very doable.
But still, and then I told Keith, well, what do you think would happen if they left us? And he's like, I'm not staying here overnight. And I was like, come on.
Well, it is a national park, so it is patrolled by rangers, and they will make sure you get off the island.
I'm sure, because they didn't leave when we left, so I'm sure they did a second go round just to make sure everybody's there.
Another boat that comes and picks them up. I'm sure,
but it was cool.
So again, we didn't really go in to do any investigation, but Lindsay did happen to sneak a recorder into her pocket, and
it happens.
We started listening to some of the recordings and really didn't get anything. But what was interesting was I broke out the ghost tube.
Yeah.
As we started walking around.
You had some stuff.
Yeah. Well, I got a couple of clips of what I caught on the ghost tube. Now, I want to preface that by saying that I didn't want to make it obvious what we were doing because I didn't know how they would react. I didn't know how the guards would take it. Yeah, the Rangers. And there were probably 150 to 200 people there. So there's a lot of noise contamination with people, but some of the things that we got off the ghost tube were kind of cool, kind of relevant. I mean, it was very active. The ghost tube was nuts.
Oh yeah, it was going off like crazy. But some were relevant to where we were and what we were asking, which was interesting.
Right. So the first one I'm going to play for you guys is when I first, immediately after I turned the ghost tube on, as soon as I turned it on, you start to see activity on it.
Yeah.
And then I'll let it play for a little bit because you'll have to read what comes up on the ghost tube just because I had the volume down. I didn't want to make it obvious what we were doing. So I didn't want the ghost tube going off. Which,
to be like murderer and everybody looks at you and you're like,
well, hindsight as it is, with all the noise and everything, I should have turned the volume on because nobody could have heard you. Nobody would have noticed.
And everybody was listening to that crazy audio tour. So
yeah, so you'll hear some of that in the background. So just take a look at the ghost tube, see what it says, and give you a little kind of behind the scenes tour of Alcatraz. So here we go with the first little clip. Hey. As soon as I turn that on, there's that tunnel.
Excuse me, where did you get is that this tour, this audio tour?
no,
I have no idea.
Yeah. I think they set it up for you over there.
Over there? Yeah. Okay.
What year is it? It's 2021. What year did you think it was?
What year do you think it is?
We can hear you.
Come and talk to us. Do you want this too, since you're doing that and I'm taking pictures?
Yeah.
Don't click any side buttons.
Make sure you take sideways pictures so we can use them. Is that a hole they made in the wall?
Breakout.
Yeah.
This is the breakout sound.
Poor. okay. We're good. We're here to learn about you. Oh my God, it said prison. It said prison. It just said prison.
What knows where we are? Escape cells 138 and 150. This is where they went down it.
Yeah. Were you in prison here? Let's see what Capone sells. Gym. Is there a gym over here? It's a gym.
So much wind.
So that
my
was
goodness.
there was some things in there that we didn't see that night because, like I said, we weren't trying to make it obvious what we were doing. So when we went back and watched some of it was relevant. I thought it was cool that immediately it said tunnel.
Yeah.
And then when we were by the breakout cells, it says shovel.
It's a shovel. And that's right when we were talking about the hole that they dug through.
Right.
You could see in the back.
Now, it turned out they didn't use shovels. Obviously, they used spoons.
Picks and stuff. But yeah,
get
that
out,
could be
but-
their shovel. I
Right,
mean, that's a
right.
pick.
So that was interesting. And then
Yeah.
the fact that it said prison. And then the interesting part about the word gym that came out was you heard the wind. So we were facing down that one cell block, but directly behind us was a door that led to the outside.
That went to their rec yard.
was their rec
or whatever.
yard.
That was their
Right,
gym.
that was their gym. So it was,
That was kind of cool.
like I said, coincidence, maybe,
Could be.
I don't know, but there were just
Interesting.
certain things that I found pretty interesting. You know, again, you know my thoughts on the ghost tube. So,
Yeah.
but some of it was relevant.
Yeah.
And
And it's hard because, like you heard, there's people everywhere. So even the recording, I don't know. We just started listening to it. So I'm not sure if we're even going to get anything. And if I did get anything, if I would even believe it, because there was so many people. I
Yeah.
mean, so
it's like-
so many people.
it's like that bang that you heard after it said, "What is that?" I don't remember hearing a bang, but again,
I
there was
don't remember not either.
right,
I mean, there was so
going
much
on.
stuff.
I mean, it was at one point I was in one. It was like in the holding area
Mhm.
where we kind of tucked back in so we can do a little investigating.
Oh yeah,
and
it was those isolation cells.
Yeah,
They had like a front door, kind of like Kingsley's cell, I guess the way it is. Like they had a front door which had like a little holding area, and then it went into the actual cell. So we were
Right.
kind of hanging in that little corner because nobody would walk in there if you were in there. And I hung out in there a lot when I was recording by myself, and nobody else would go in there with you because, you know, scared of the Rona, which is fine. Worked for me. So we sat in there for a while, and I was in one, and Keith was on the right hand side in the next one, and he comes over and he's like, "Did you just bang?" It's like, "No, I didn't bang. I'm sitting here recording." He's like, "I just heard 3 bangs."
no knocks.
Knocks.
They just sounded like just 3 little knocks, like we do. Like we knock on the walls when we go into the cells, asking them to repeat it. So we have to go back and watch the video on that to see if we picked that up.
Yeah.
I didn't pick it up as I was
doing
preparing
this.
for
Yeah.
this,
But you were
but-
kind of going fast through
Right,
stuff. So,
right.
yeah,
So-
there was some interesting stuff, but people had boots on, you know, it's kind of
Oh, you heard footsteps all over
Yeah.
the place, but that was obviously
footsteps. Yeah.
not anything crazy. But this next piece of video I want to share with you from the Ghost Tube is something there's a couple of things that happened in this video that are kind of interesting and that I want you to watch for. Now, those of you who have used the Ghost Tube on your phone, your video is always, you know,
Pretty
it's
consistent.
pretty consistent, right?
Just like you saw, it's
you
pretty
don't really have
consistent.
any issues. But in this particular video clip, and it was just in this one area, the camera on the phone started going nuts, like doing something I've never seen it do before. And you'll watch for that. There's not really anything that happens in the clip other than that. But then it goes to another clip where I'm shooting pictures of some of the old inmates, like Al Capone, some of the old inmates in there.
Oh yeah, it had like a whole list of like when they
Right.
were there, what year they were here for, and why
Right.
they were here. It was kind of cool.
But pay attention to what the ghost tube says when it first goes on to Al Capone. So it's kind of interesting. So I'll go ahead and play this little one for you. Go ahead, make a noise. So if you noticed it, the camera just started freaking out, and we've been using the ghost tube for well over a year now.
a
I've
while.
never seen it do that. And the funny thing is, I didn't notice it while I was filming. I didn't, because I would have questioned it. I would have said, "What the hell's going on my camera?"
Yeah, and you had to turn it off and restart it or something, which
Right.
was crazy.
Right. And yeah, so that was, and it kept going in that area. It didn't clear up. But when I went to Capone's pictures, and it was that was on the same feed. So it
And
was
then it
all
cleared
within
up.
that same period, right?
Yeah, because it was all in that same, like there was those one cells, and then there was those posters, and then there was the other cells.
Right.
So it was all in that same area. We didn't leave. You didn't turn it off. You didn't do anything. But it freaks out as soon as you get there, and then it stops, and you go and look at the pictures.
Right.
But then when you go back to that site, it does it again.
Yeah, it was crazy. It was,
That's weird. And those are the cells that I liked the most.
that was the isolation area.
Right. But it said, and I took a picture of the sign in there, it said the isolation area was for injured or considerably dangerous criminals. So the ones who kept attacking people, the ones who they couldn't let out with anybody else, they had them in there. So that could be why it was freaking out. That's where all the energy was.
It was weird. It was especially weird that we didn't notice it till after the fact. We didn't notice.
I never
it
saw
happening.
it. So I'm like, I
Right.
can't believe that because you, first of all, you were staring at that thing the whole time.
Right. Right.
So I
And,
definitely would have seen it.
Yeah, I would have questioned why the hell it was jumping all over the place
Yeah.
at the time, but it wasn't. And then it was interesting with that. Like I said, as soon as we went to Capone, the first words that come up were asylum and then cigar, which I thought
Never
was
have seen it say
really
cigar
fascinating.
ever.
Yeah, I thought that was really cool.
Well, and then do you have a picture of his cell?
No.
Okay. So I got a picture of his cell.
You can't really see anything though. It's
Well,
hard
no,
to see.
I mean, it's just a cell.
Yeah.
But the lady said that we were talking to, because you think Al Capone, like, oh, he was all riled up and starting hell. And, nope. She said he was mellow because he was dying of syphilis. So she's like, he would go out there and he'd sweep the like cell hall, like the walkway there. That was his job. So he'd sweep the walkway every day and just kind of chilled out. Guess his mom was the one who was making all sorts of hell, saying she had to get him and see him every day and even contemplated moving to San Francisco. So,
well, they said they didn't make any exceptions for
Nope.
him, even though they knew who he was.
they did not. That's why his mom was raised in hell,
He was treated just like any other inmate.
as he
so
should be.
It's kind of cool.
You were an inmate, you lost all rights. You don't get nothing special.
So the thing about Alcatraz, which is interesting, was it was originally built by the military.
Yeah.
And it was used as a fort during the Civil War.
Because
they
I guess
would-
they tried to come up the bay.
They had something in the neighborhood of like 15 or 20 cannons on the island.
Oh,
to protect the
yeah.
island.
They have 2 or 3 spots still where the bases were made
Yeah.
for the cannons.
Yep.
It was crazy.
And that was it was a POW prison
Hmm.
in the beginning. And then it wasn't like till the 1930s, I think it was. I have it a little bit later on, but it became the first federal penitentiary.
Penitentiary.
Yep.
That's cool. Well, I thought it was interesting that so your spouse, your husband works, at the jail. No big deal. You don't think anything of it. Well, when your husband worked at this jail, you had to come. Well, you didn't have to, but he didn't come back. He lived there.
You lived on the island.
So you lived on the island. So there was schools, there was grocery stores, there was all that above and beyond the jail. There was all these other buildings, all this other stuff. There was a church outside, like there, you know what I mean? Like you lived there. It made its own little city.
Right.
So that's what I thought was crazy. Like you're raising your kids 100 feet from a prison with not the greatest people there.
Well, it was insane. I wanted to put up some more video, but the problem was anything we filmed outside, it was so windy, you couldn't hear anything.
Mm-mm.
Like we were trying to talk during the video, you couldn't hear a damn thing. But we went by this area, which was the garden area.
Mhm.
And it was really pretty. Like there was still flowers growing
Yeah.
out there. It was still, it's almost like time just
Stop.
stopped.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
Everything just overgrew. It was really cool. But yeah, there was gardens. And I told Keith, I said, I bet you this was where they gardened. And he was like, what do you mean? And I said, look at the way the pathways are stamped out just right. And then there's these little batches, of 2 feet by 6 feet. I'm like, I bet you this is where they grew stuff. Because
Mhm.
especially after I read that the wives and everything were here, they have to grow fruits and vegetables because you're not going to get that shipped in every day. So,
and
it's
then,
kinda cool.
it's a miracle that those 3 men actually escaped from the island, because when you look around the island when the boat's going around it, it's sheer drops down
Yeah.
in the water. And the bay's got to be, I don't know how deep it is. I was going to ask that to one of the rangers there, but
Yeah.
it's got to be at least 100 feet deep. And on
There's really no good place to jump.
no,
Like
no.
it doesn't go straight down so you could like up and over jump. It like curves down like this. So you're gonna hit rocks.
Yeah, you can't jump
And
off
that
of it.
wind is crazy.
Yep. And that's what I was going to say. On the ferry ride over, we could feel the wind on the dock picking up a little bit, but actually when we got about 10 minutes into the ferry ride, the wind kicked up and we were on the top deck of the ferry.
Mhm.
And this wave came over and just hit everybody.
And it got all the way up on the top. It
oh
was
yeah,
funny.
it soaked everybody.
Keith took the brunt of that for me. Thanks, babe.
I wish I would have had that on video. I wish I was filming at the time, but it's just a creepy. And I'll show you at the end. I put a little video together for the end of the show. When the boat's approaching the island, it just gives you this weird. It almost reminded me of Shutter Island. You ever seen the
Yeah.
movie Shutter Island? I mean, it was that creepy. It's just that creepy going up to the island, and at night it's even creepier. And what was cool was the lighthouse on the island is a functioning
yeah, yeah.
lighthouse,
Still.
and it was actually one of the. I think it was the first lighthouse ever built in San Francisco.
Oh, probably.
So the fact that it's still active, it's kind of cool. It's kind of neat to see the boat moving away and the lighthouse spinning around.
Yeah.
That was really cool. That
It
was
took me
neat.
forever to get a picture finally where I could get the ray.
And the fog is just amazing. I mean, it's just
Oh, it was so
it's all
fast.
fog in that area.
It was so fast.
At
It was
first,
so
I thought
cool.
it was clouds. I'm like, God, look at all those clouds. And somebody's like, no, that's fog. I couldn't believe
Made
how
it more
foggy
creepy.
It was. Yeah, it was really creepy. Tons of birds on the island, all different species of birds.
Oh,
I
yeah.
mean, it was just incredible. Like I said, we'll put some pictures up on our site and everything so you guys can check it out. For those of you who have been there before, it's probably no news to you. But if you haven't ever been there and you may never get a chance to go there, we'll definitely put some stuff up so you guys get to enjoy it. Because if you ever have a chance to go there, I highly recommend it. I mean, it's just incredible, and it wasn't very expensive.
No, it was $42 or something.
Yep.
Yeah, it was 85 for both of us.
And they run,
and you can go. I mean, we went at 6 because that was the only one that was open. But if you're going to pre-plan for it, you can go at 2:00 and stay till the end. It doesn't matter what time you come back. It's just whenever the boats come back to get you.
right.
So that's what was cool. I mean, that's what I was bummed about is because we couldn't get an earlier one. But for next time, definitely, I want to go down at like 2 or 3 and then stay till 8.
Well, they talk about they do not an overnight tour, but they do a later tour, right? From 8 to 10
They
or something.
used to have a night tour, but the Rona gets more virulent after 10:00. So,
So because of the virus, they stopped it at night. I don't know why, but
Stop doing
maybe
night
because it
tours.
was just a crowd. Maybe everyone wanted to do the nighttime and it was just so crowded. But
Who knows?
yeah, we'll reach out for the Hornet. I know they did say since it's a national park, they don't do paranormal investigations at Alcatraz, only because
they have to pay for
they got to pay for a
ranger
guard
and
to be
everything.
there,
Yeah.
a ranger.
So
they don't open it up to any tours. And actually, the lady who talked to us said she's been there for 3 years and nothing weird's ever happened to her.
So many people.
Right.
There's so many people. I mean, if they're only there during the tours, there is so many people. There was easily, and we stayed for the latest one, there was still easily 200 people.
Yeah.
That left with us. So I can't even imagine how it is during the day.
Oh yeah, forget it. Because they do multiple tours.
Yeah, and if you're a true prisoner, like, you don't want to be in the middle of the riot. You don't want to be around all the people. So you're gonna kind of hide out. You're gonna kind of stay by yourself. So I wonder if the night is when it picks up because everybody's gone.
I really have no doubt, and me and my skepticism, but I have no doubt there's something. There's got to be something.
There has to be.
I mean, for the ghost tube to do what it was doing, and again, it could all be coincidence. There's 4 or 5 times that something happened. I think that goes a little bit beyond coincidence, but we'll have to listen to recordings again. I don't think we're going to pick up anything, only because it was so noisy in there and so much contamination. But we'll check it out. We'll see if we caught anything on it. But
well, and just, I mean, even before it was a prison, it was so many other things. You know what I mean? Like, I'm sure ships were shot down by there. I'm sure there has to be something.
Well, between the time of the Civil War and the time that it became a federal prison, there was a couple
POW camp. Yeah.
No, but there was Native American tribes.
Oh yeah, that lived on there.
Lived on the island.
I think it was before that too.
It might have been.
It's called Indian Island.
Yeah.
So maybe that's
but
before it was used for the Civil War.
No. It was after. It was in between, and then there was a lot of fighting going back and forth with the city, and that's, I guess, through negotiations or whatever, they eventually took it back over. Yeah. So
that's
I
cool.
didn't read a lot into that, but I thought that was interesting because we did see that one sign. What?
Hold, please. Wow. Hold on, I can't do it. Wendy says Ghost Adventures investigated there, so I bet you we can get it.
See, I thought I remember, because I told you, I said I think they were here, but I wasn't sure.
I have no idea.
But
if that's what I said. If the lady just said that there had to be a ranger there, I mean, we could pay for a ranger to be there.
Yeah.
There could be 100 of us there, and you'd never even see each other.
Right.
So
yeah, I wish I could.
Wendy, work on that.
I thought you were going to work on that.
I'm gonna work on that too, but Wendy knows more people.
But it'd be cool if we can go, because we can do the Hornet and do Alcatraz. I mean, that would be amazing.
I would just die. That'd be amazing.
But yeah, I think we'd have to probably fork out a lot of money. But if it's a lot of us,
but if there's a ton of us going, that's what I'm saying. So even if it's $2,000 and there's 100 of us going, that's nothing.
100 of us going, but
you never know. We could get 100 people. We could easily get 50.
I'd say more like 25 we could probably get, but even so.
Oh, we can get more than 25.
We could still, it's a possibility.
We could do it.
It would be cool. It'd be really cool. I mean, the island's just creepy itself because between the fog, the wind,
the wind was nuts. Yeah. When we went down into that wreck thing, literally I was standing like this
It was blowing us
this.
over.
It was blowing you over. It was crazy.
And you can't hear anything we said
Yep.
on the phone. I had the phone kind of right in front of me here, and you couldn't hear a damn thing I was
Yeah.
saying just because the wind
It's
was
just so much
loud.
wind.
It was really cool. It was creepy. Kind of
So,
creepy. So
it
they
was
get.
super cool.
I read something in the neighborhood of 1.7 million visitors a year.
That wouldn't surprise
The
me.
last report they had in, I think it was 2018.
Pre-Rona.
Yeah, pre-Rona.
But still, there was, like I said, there was 200 people just on our boat.
Oh yeah.
You do 200 people
A trip.
6 times a day.
No,
So-
it definitely gets a lot of attention there.
It's so
That
cool.
was cool.
It was just, even if there's nothing paranormal about it, it was just amazing to stand there in this jail that's 3 stories tall. And they didn't let us go upstairs. I wish we
No.
could have.
No.
3 stories tall, and you just think about, I mean, there's 20, 30 cells on each side. I mean, it was just crazy.
Yeah, I bet it was expensive
Yeah.
too, but it's definitely worth asking about. I mean, the worst
Yeah.
thing to do is say
What are they
no.
gonna tell us? Is that it's $1 million and we go, okay, no, thank you.
It's
I
like,
mean,
no, we'll pass.
we're good.
But I think we can definitely get the Hornet though.
Yeah.
I think we could.
I don't think that would be terrible.
because he didn't seem when we
like that was a
talked-
once in a yeah.
When we talked to the guy, he didn't seem like it was too far fetched because
Mm-mm.
when we talked about doing paranormal investigating. So
No, because he said they did the paranormal tours. So honestly, even if because it was $20 to get in there, so they say, oh, you know, there's 50 people for the paranormal tour. Well, what if we all just buy the tickets for that time?
Well, that's kind of what you said about Alcatraz too.
I know. I'm like, what
You
if we
said-
just buy all the and this is what I was saying. What if we just buy all the Alcatraz tickets for the 6:00 time? And there's only 8 of us that go, but each one of us bought 5 tickets. I mean, what are they going to say? The tickets are sold. They can't do nothing.
Yeah, I don't know how many they actually
They
sell.
just don't
'cause
show. I don't know. Might
There were
have to-
200 people on our tour. I mean,
well, that's what I have to look into.
we'll have to check it out and see.
Yeah.
It was cool. It was a cool experience. I would
Super neat.
definitely go back and do it again.
So
It
cool.
was well worth it.
But even honestly, because when we went at 6:00, there's probably 120 people that came with us for 6:00. There was still some of those scragglers that were left over.
Right.
So if we just buy the whole 6:00 time and there's 30 people that are left over that stayed, I mean, that'd be okay.
We'll have to see.
I just really don't want to carry all my equipment up that hill.
Though they had the trolley that went up.
We might be able to bribe them. They had like little golf carts.
That's a good question. I don't know if there was a ferry fee.
Yes, the ferry was with the ticket. The ticket included the boat
The ferry
trip.
ride? Okay.
Mhm.
So it wasn't.
Yeah, it was everything.
Yeah.
So
I wasn't sure if it was an extra, like it was this for the tour, but then there was this amount of money for the ferry. It was just all.
it wasn't
inclusive.
broken up. It was just all together.
Okay. So the
Oh,
ferry,
maybe I think it was. Maybe it was. It was like $40 for the ticket and like $2 or $3 for the ferry ride. But it was all like you bought the ticket, you bought the ferry ride. You didn't have to click something different.
but that's all that ferry does. That ferry is just
Just does
for
that.
the Alcatraz tour. So which is
Because it
weird
has like the
because
whole.
the ferry had a bar in it and everything that was closed.
It
down.
did. It
was
looks kind of
nice.
fancy, but it might have been pre-Rona.
Yeah, true. Might have been used for something else at one time.
Yeah.
But-
or it was made for something else and they just use it for this now.
Right.
So, but no, it was a cool boat. I
Yeah.
liked sitting on top.
Yeah, just to ride over there. I wish I would have loaded that up. It'll be on the little short clip I have at the end. But
Yeah, and I have a bunch of pictures of what bridge was that we went over?
that's the Bay Bridge.
Over the Bay Bridge, all lit up. When we came back, it was really pretty.
Yeah, that was cool. That was neat.
Not a fan of riding back on it.
Because you're underneath, you're on the second level.
Yep, that was kind of terrifying.
It's funny how what goes through your mind when you're crossing that bridge, specifically in California, just because of the earthquakes. You're thinking,
I'm gonna get smashed.
especially if you're on the lower half, you're thinking, oh
I'm
shit,
gonna get
if that-
smashed. I was
top
okay
half
going
goes
there.
down,
Like
yeah.
going was fine. Not for you, but for me, going was okay. But coming back, you're under. So first of all, it looks like you're in a tunnel. And second of all, you know that there's a bridge above you. So if anything happens, that bridge is going to fall on you and then you're going to fall in the ocean.
which is
That's
scary.
all I thought of.
What
Alcatraz is also known as Bird Island. The Birdman of Alcatraz served a life sentence there after being transferred from Leavenworth. His name was Robert Stroud. It definitely is Bird Island. There is a ton, well, especially now because it's empty, but there's a ton of birds. And I can only imagine how many there were even being active because, I mean, you're out in the middle of nowhere. The birds are going to rest somewhere. They're going to be on top of the houses. They're going to be.
Well, the seagulls were brazen. I mean, they would come right up to you. I mean,
Oh,
it
yeah.
was
They'd
like-
sit right on the ledge as you're walking by. Just
Yep.
sit there, chill.
They didn't care.
No.
They'd start yelling at you when you went
Oh,
by.
yeah.
but
They were mouthy.
yeah, they were.
That's funny, Wendy. Me and Darren accidentally went over the Golden Gate Bridge, scared the crap out of me when it was at night.
Well, the cool,
Yeah.
the cool thing about the Bay Bridge was it's really two bridges in one because it goes over to an island called Treasure Island.
Yeah.
So
People live there.
you go from the mainland on to Treasure Island, and it goes through a little tunnel, and then the tunnel takes you back on the other part of the Bay Bridge that takes you over to San Francisco. So that was
crazy.
that was kind of neat.
It's like they needed a stopping point.
No, I just had to double down on my fear of going over a bridge over water,
So you got it twice.
which happened several times.
It did. He did okay.
Even Alameda, we went over the bridge, we went over the water to get over there, but coming back, we went under the tunnel.
Yeah, I didn't like that.
So it was interesting.
I did not like that.
A lot of tunnels, a lot of bridges.
Yeah. Tunnel through the mountain was okay.
Yeah, that wasn't bad.
It was okay. Tunnel under the water, not okay.
But would you have known you were going into water if you didn't see it on the map?
Yes,
You wouldn't have known.
I would have known. It was terrible.
Wasn't
Would
it?
you have known it was a bridge over water if you wouldn't have seen the water?
Wow. That's like,
Don't start with
that's
me.
the whole tree in a forest comment. Don't get started on that. Actually, the bridge didn't make. I wasn't really that nervous going over that bridge.
It was, you couldn't even see the edge of it. It was huge. It was like 5 lanes on each side.
That was big. It was a big bridge.
That's why it wasn't terrible. The
Yeah.
other little ones were just one on each side, and that was terrible.
But you were over water for quite a long time.
Yeah.
It was at least a 15-minute ride.
Oh, easy
over the
for one
bridge.
bridge. Yeah.
Yep.
Then you went onto the island. Then you went to the other bridge for
Yeah.
another 10 minutes. Yeah.
It was cool though. And I'd never been to San Francisco before, so it was neat. I mean, we only got to see part of it by the piers, which was kind of cool because
Yeah. Nobody shit in front of me. So, that's good stuff. I did see a guy rip his pants down and scratch his ass. So, that was good too.
yeah, that was interesting.
But at least he didn't sit down and take a shit. So,
Which we heard happens quite a bit there in the city. But I think we
Yeah.
might have been in a better part of the city if there was such a
on the
thing.
pier part, maybe.
Well,
Because
it's cool
there's more
though,
like
is
touristy stuff.
Yeah. The pier was cool because it was pier that the piers have different numbers as you go down. What was our ferry was pier 33 or something
33.
like that?
Yep.
So pier 39 was
It's
where
where
we
we
parked.
parked.
And
Oh my God. It was so cool.
It was cool.
It
I
was
mean, it
like the
had-
shopping.
yeah.
Yeah.
It had all kinds of stores and
And
had
food,
restaurants. It was
A little like carnival thing at the end.
yeah, that was cool. And then there's these guys hanging out, just like you'd find in New York City. They had these little grills.
Oh my
They
God.
weren't that big, and they
They smelled so
cooking them hot
good.
dogs.
Wrapped in bacon.
Well, the one guy had the bacon. The other guy just had regular.
I don't
hot
know,
dogs.
but it smelled amazing.
But they'd be frying up onions and veggies, and
And
it just
peppers.
looks so good. We didn't get that for dinner though.
No. Fish
We got fish, beer battered fish,
and no cotton candy.
no kind of candy. Should we tell them about your sushi experience?
Oh, it was amazing.
It was good.
More
It's
like your sushi
yeah,
experience.
exactly. So we, Lindsay and I love sushi. We eat the heck
Went to
out of some
Alameda.
sushi.
And we walked on the beach, and it was great
And then there was a sushi place, so we got to have
on the
dinner
corner.
there. And this place was packed. I mean, the poor girls couldn't even keep up with it.
Oh my God. There was like 50 people, like 50 workers, and they ran like crazy. It was so packed.
It was ridiculous.
So we knew it had to be good because, it was packed.
So
good.
we're always adventurous when it comes to trying new things. When it comes to sushis, was that Bubba
that's cool.
Gumps? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
It was down there, and we thought about it, but we didn't have enough time to
Yeah.
sit and eat.
That's cool. Yeah, it was a really cool pier. So we're eating sushi. We're getting our normal sushi, which was delicious, and then we decided to get daring and try something different.
Well,
So-
he says, I've never tried squid before. And I said, well, let's do it. Because I've done octopus and stuff like that. And he was like, only do it if you do it. And I said, okay, let's do it. And so we got one. And it looked like What did it look like? It looked like
white fish that was cooked, and you know how it flakes apart.
sliced. Yeah.
Yeah, how it flakes apart when you
It
cook
was
it.
like
That's kind of
like scratched almost.
That's not what it tasted like.
And so I was still chewing, and Keith's like, okay, you got to try it first. And I was like, okay, well, I was still chewing. And then he shoves it in his mouth. And this look on his face of complete terror and oh crap, I can't spit it out because there's too many people here. So
Wendy, you hit it. You hit
Yeah.
it right on the money. Rubbery is not the case.
it's not, it wasn't rubbery. So
It was rubbery, but it was disgusting. I never.
it was so funny.
It was
the
all
look
I
on
could
his
do not
face.
to just
Spit it out.
all over the plate. But I was committed by then.
Yep, you had to do it. So to me, see, I didn't with Wendy, it didn't really have a whole lot of taste.
Oh, it had a funky taste. There was something about that's what turned me off. It wasn't even the fact that it was rubbery, and the fact that I had to chew it for an hour.
Oh yeah, it was like 20
And
minutes.
I finally just swallowed it. I was like, I got to get this over with.
You
But
just got to do
the
it.
taste, it was just. I don't know. I can't describe it. It was
It
disgusting.
was, see, the taste wasn't terrible. For me, it was the fact that when you bit it, it reminded me of when we were kids and we'd put the bubble yum in our mouth forever until it was like rock hard and you bit it and it snapped apart because it wasn't even chewy anymore. That's what it was like. You bit it and it was like snap every time.
Yeah, that kind of ruined the experience. But then
Yeah.
we followed it up with a couple of good rolls.
With a really good one, and we were
It was
okay.
good. We were good.
That's why we
We
saved the
got to
good one
that.
for the end. But now you can
So-
say you've done it.
So yeah, so
Will
much
you-
for being adventurous.
Will you order it again?
No, hell no. And you know, of course, on the menu they make it look, look how white it is.
It was
looks
pretty.
really
It looked
good, you
really
know, the
pretty.
Presentation's nice, but man,
It looked really pretty. It still was, even when we got it. It was pretty, but it was not appetizing.
no, it's disgusting. Never do that again.
But then there was these three little women over in the corner, and this impressed me because we ate
We had a good amount.
probably 25 pieces in between the two of us,
Yeah.
26 because they came in twos.
Right.
There was these three little Asian women in the corner and the rolls were like this thick and they were like this long. They had 5 rolls at their table. They had soup and they had probably 10 individual pieces. They're just over there scarfing away, ordering some more. And I told Keith and I said, I cannot, I'm full just watching them.
Right.
They were just going on their way, having a good old time, chatting. Like it must be good.
They weren't really even talking that much though. They were just eating.
They were just eating. They were chatting
when
every
I
once in
turned
a while.
around, yeah, that was nuts.
But I couldn't believe it. I'm like, I can't believe they're going to eat all that. Whew.
A very cool place.
It was
a lot
good
of-
food.
It was a lot of fun
Definitely have to go back
to
next
go check
time.
that out. Yeah.
So good. And the price was not bad. It's about what we pay here.
Yeah.
It was really good.
And I figured being on the water, because it was right on the water. You could see
Right on the beach.
ocean right from where we were at. I figured it'd be really expensive, but it
Yeah.
wasn't. It wasn't that bad.
No.
So
Definitely do it again
yeah, absolutely, I would.
when we go see Alcatraz and the Hornet
The
again.
Hornet. So yeah, so I'll have to work on that. Wendy. Have to work on
We will.
getting those booked.
Yes. And there was a Great Dane.
There was.
There was a Great Dane when we were driving down the beach. He was walking down the beach.
Yeah, the beach was kind of cool.
It made me happy.
So yeah, we'll post pictures, post some videos so you guys can check it out. Like I said, any video we do post from Alcatraz is going to be extremely windy. Anything that's
Terrible.
outside, but it was really pretty views. Maybe we'll just put up the pictures.
Yes, I
Maybe
got
better.
a ton of pictures.
So we'll put those on our site. You guys go check that out.
It's good stuff. Definitely glad we went. What else do you have down there? Go back down. Go back down. Go back down.
It's our little ending movie that I did.
Alcatraz Island 2.
I already showed that.
Oh.
That was the
What's the overview?
poem. That's our
Oh, that's
video
your
that
ending
I'm
one.
gonna
Okay,
play.
sorry.
Yeah.
This is what happens when I don't
Don't rush ahead of me.
help them do stuff.
So that's about going to do it for our show today. Appreciate you guys hanging with us. Like I said, it was going to be a little different today because we've been out of town. Really haven't had a chance to get any guests on and
Get our lives
get
together.
our lives together. So we figured we'd share our experiences with you. So I hope you guys enjoyed it. As always, want to talk about some of our other groups that we deal with. AZ Paranormal. If you guys are looking for ghost hunting equipment, please go check it out. And if you're always in the mood for a good podcast, you always check out Truth About Beer. And
I hear those guys are okay.
yeah, I hear they're okay too.
Yeah.
And this Tuesday we have
Are you gonna-
Soul Sisters Paranormal on. They're going to be in the Paracon in Las Cruces.
Nice.
So they're going to.
We have a bunch of Paracon people coming up, don't you?
We do.
That's awesome.
We do. We were supposed to have somebody on last week, but since we were out of town and things were happening, we decided to push the show. So
Nice.
We appreciate you guys understanding,
Hanging in there with us.
Yeah, hanging in there. But this Tuesday we will be back. So we got some cool stuff, and Papa Joey brought some beer back from a brewery. And,
so good.
We're gonna try.
So good.
So it's gonna be.
Are you gonna use the one I got too?
I have to at least try one. Let Joey try one because it's good.
One.
Wow, you're being stingy.
I am stingy about it because it was really good. So there was this bar across the street from our hotel, and Joey, we thought of you, and we had some San Juan hookers.
Oh, we did. We did.
Yes. And they were really good. Probably something I didn't need to have in my life.
Oh, you slept good.
I did. I was out. But we also were drinking the whole time. But the bar had these 2 beers on tap. So Keith got to try to Keith got to try the one that was the IPA that he brought back, which I knew I wasn't going to drink.
It was good though. So it
wasn't terrible. I wouldn't drink the whole thing, but it wasn't terrible.
Joey, you'll like that one. It's really good.
Yeah, Joey will like it. But the one I picked was Tiki Time.
Tiki Time, right?
Oh, it's so good.
It's like a hazy. It's not.
It's like a Blue Moon,
yeah,
only more fruity.
Hazy's the wrong word.
So good. It's so good.
It was good. It was very good.
That's why I don't want to share it, because I don't think we can get it back out here again.
They might ship it to you.
I'm gonna have to look into that before I give any up.
Oh Jesus, we gotta try one for the episode.
You can have one. One.
We'll have to split it. Damn it.
One.
I actually like that one the best.
I know you do too. That's why I'm not letting you have any. One.
Well, we got to watch because you and I started a diet today, so
yes, we did.
We have to drink a little bit, but it'll be a little sample glass like we did on the one episode.
Yes.
So we'll do that.
Oh, when can I have my beer then?
Right, 30 days.
Oh,
you can have a full
30
one.
days.
Well, you could drink with the show and just say you're drinking for the show.
There you go.
Right.
But I have to work. That's okay. I have to work the next day. It's totally fine.
You're not going to get drunk off of it.
No,
so you're good.
If I drink the whole box, I will. But just want to be okay.
And as always, if you're looking for some books to read,
yes,
go check out Bios to Books. And I believe the Soul of Juby Walker is available on Amazon right now with the ebook.
If not now, like I think Tuesday or Wednesday, like it's soon.
Dad can correct me if I'm wrong on here, but I believe it is out for ebook, and it should be coming out hard copy soon.
It's hard copy like a week or two. He said.
Let's go check that
ebook
out
very soon.
And speaking of dieting and health, please go check out my Highway to Your Health channel.
What are we gonna do for that, by the way? Like
slacking on that one.
Are we gonna how are we gonna document this on your Highway to Health?
I don't know.
My 30 days of torture.
That'll work.
Okay. I can call it that. My 30 days of torture.
It's not that bad. It's not gonna be that bad.
You're telling me I cannot drink Mountain Dew.
Well,
okay.
For 30 days.
30 days of no Mountain Dew.
Yep.
Let's see if Keith lives through this. That's like 30 days of no coffee for you. No coffee.
I could do it. It'd be terrible, but I could do it.
Thank you.
Yeah, but my coffee has no calories. It's like 5 calories for a cup of coffee.
Are you judging my Mountain Dew because it has calories? Is that the problem right now?
I am kind of.
Wow.
Because you're comparing. You can't.
That's the same thing.
For sacrifice wise, yes, I would agree.
See, Darren, I love you.
What?
Wendy says she can't stand Mountain Dew. Neither can Keith, but it's Darren's favorite.
Well, you know.
See, I knew I loved Darren. We're the same soul. Not really, but you know. Me and Wendy are more the same soul, right. But Darren loves Mountain Dew.
That sounded good for a minute.
Sounded good for a minute.
So, all right, everyone. Thank you for joining us this week. I'm going to leave you guys with another little look at Alcatraz, and really appreciate you guys sticking with us and being able to share this with you guys. So,
yeah.
So we will have a guest on next time. Not sure who yet, but we'll let you know
when we get our lives together.
When we get our lives together, we'll let you know. But until then. Thanks for joining Paranormal Partners. Here's another look at Alcatraz.
Thank you.
See you guys.
Bye, guys.
Time.